morning for everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to come over. I've been in Bratislava a couple of times, but not at all for the conference like this. Special thanks to my old friends for Constersoft, who gave me this invitation through Thomas, and having chance of meeting you all. Why BIM? Why BIM is close to my heart. When I was a young student in Helsinki University, I got attracted of the magic three words CAD. And there was this small company, Tekla, who was looking at student programmers at that time. So I stepped into this company, Tekla, as a student programmer a long time ago. And I work a lot with the CAD, and then later when we call it the 3D modeling, we call it BIM. And I was the vice president of the company at the year 2011 when Trimble acquired us. So I've been involved in technology development, BIM development, promoting BIM quite a lot in Finland. 2016, I got attracted to be a group CEO of a Finnish local engineering company called Vahanen, 500 engineers. And I took the challenge of how we implement the technology, how we implement BIM in the real project world. So I have an opportunity to be the developer of the BIM, but also an implementation manager of the BIM. Avery acquired my company in the beginning of the year. So my today's responsibility is a BA, a business area director in Finland. We are, in my infrastructure division, we are about 1,000 engineers in Finland. Avery in total globally is about 19,000, and we have Avery representatives here today as well. And infrastructures is the largest business that we own. So I manage business in Finland. Avery is doing a lot of business in Scandinavia, Northern Europe, Central Europe. Today I'm talking about what we do in BIM in Finland, and that's the experience. I was asked to talk about the infrastructure projects. We do in my business area the whole range of real estate development, infrastructure development, environmental analysis and environmental approvals, all sort of things. So within my 1,000 engineers of organization, we have the wide scope of pretty much doing all sort of construction, all sort of development. But today I selected for you 3 typical examples. The first one is a modern tram system, how we implement BIM in a project like this. Think about building a new tram line cross through the Bratislava. So you have the Bratislava, the center of the Bratislava, and you are asked to build a new tram line. And you can straight away think about that. That's the huge job. So we got this project, and the first phase is implemented in 2017. Tampere is a city in Finland, second largest business area from the capital area compared to Helsinki. It's about 250,000 inhabitants, but the wider Tampere economic area is close to 400,000 people. This new tram line is totally new. There wasn't any tram line. There is no metro underground systems, so the public transportation was taken care of by the buses. The project obviously is split into phases. It's split into the aerial responsibilities, but what's unique in this project, which also related to usage of the technology and usage of the BIM, is that this contractual model, how this is done and implemented, is a kind of a consortium agreement. So it's not typical design build bid and a responsibility. It's a consortium which we call alliance contract model. It's developed in Finland, and alliance basically means that we as a main designer, we are allied with the contractor. So the project scope is done together. The project cost estimating and the timelines is done together, and we are incentivized of making this project on budget. If we reach the budget, we will get an extra reward together with the contractor. If we go over, we will be penalized, and if we go under, we will get an extra success fee. So there's a contractual model. It's a unit price contract for the contractor. So the client is involved in this alliance model in the way that they don't have a fixed contract. They have a budget to be reached, and the client will always agree the costs when the project is evolving. But the target is to reach that on budget, reach that on the quality requirements, and get the incentives. And happy to say that from the first phase, we did receive our success fees. So we were able to meet the budgets and the quality requirements. There is a reference story. The contractor is YIT, which is the largest contractor in Finland. If you Google YIT, Tampere Light Rail project, there's a good description of this alliance contract model, if you are interested, but also there's a good description of this project. Okay, what we did in the BIM perspective. This was a project where we didn't have any collaboration tool. So each of the participants had their own BIM tools, and each of the disciplines had their own tools. Some of them were using 2D, some of them were using BIM tools, and the coordination was done by the main designers. But the main designer didn't have any coordination tool. Okay, so how you do the coordination if you don't have the coordination tool? Basically, in the BIM world, you just take all sort of data formats, whether you use IFC, whether you use XML, whether you use 3D, WG, and you try to get the information together. And the problem is with the data transfer. How you get that done when you don't have a common tool where you transfer the information. So basically our main designers who had the responsibility of the project, they had to do a huge coordination and collaboration activity to keep everything on track. And I did ask from the main engineers that how you did that collaboration, how you found out that your information was on time, accurate, and coordinated with the other parties. And he said that sometimes he felt that he just did it because of pure luck. There was so much to coordinate and without a good tool. So we use BIM in all aspects. We use 2D, and 2D, as you can see, it's just standard 2D DXF files that you transfer. And those guys who have the domain knowledge, they're going to understand what the 2D drawing is. But if you are from the other discipline, you don't really understand what the other guys is doing. So that's why we need the collaboration tool, and we need the BIM in a coordinated manner. So the next project is, again, a tram project in Helsinki. And there is, again, an English website in Helsinki, City of Helsinki project news. So you can Google Kalasatama to Pasila in 15 minutes, and you will find an English explanation what this project is all about. So we knew there's a new tram line, and this is a new project. So lessons learned from the Tampere project for our infrastructure team. We decided to do a lot of BIM collaboration. Okay, so this is the first large infrastructure project where we have modeled pretty much everything, and we have put that together as one combined federated BIM model. And what is the impact is that once you start putting all sort of information from different disciplines, a lot of information like the street lighting, traffic signs, everything you start putting onto the model, you share the information what this project is all about with your client and with the other disciplines. We have used the collaboration tool called Trimble Connect in this case to put the information together. And that has also taken care of the data format problems that we typically have with the project. So the collaboration tool has this data transfer capabilities by exchanging the information through the platform. We are very much hoping to see IFS 4 one day alive for our infrastructure project, because IFC you use a lot of in the real estate project, but less in the infrastructure project. But IFC4 development hopefully will see the daylight, and we will see the infrastructure data transfer through the IFC. But this is the tool that we've been using now for the collaboration and for the coordination. And now the team has achieved a lot of benefits for their coordination work. And the contractor can really see what is it that they have to build. It's been really, really useful. And here's a few examples. Okay, as a last one, and this is what we are in the development phase. You take the new technology, and hopefully we got that. There's a video. So now today you can obviously do the scanning. So this is the bottom of the waterline there. So we have scanned the bottom, but not only that, we have also video captured the landscape, and those two models we have put together, and we have shown this to client in the preliminary design phase for client to understand how this really looks like, and they are expecting us to develop a bridge over this canal, and what sort of bridge needs to be developed and to meet the client requirements. So we have given them the landscape, we have given them the bottom of this waterline there, and we have given them few design alternatives. You will see those in a second. So we have given them few design alternatives, and also a simulation from different weather conditions, and also the daylight and the night view you will see, and you will see shortly few bad weather coming in Finland. Unfortunately, we have sometimes very heavy winters in Finland, so you will see some simulations. In the pre-design phase, this is extremely important because those modifications, once you start the execution, once you start the bidding with the contractors, you will fix the budget, you will fix the timelines, and extremely difficult to do the modifications for the project afterwards. So we want to do this on time and give the alternatives for the client in a manner that the client do understand what is it that we are proposing. And BIM is an excellent tool when you use the latest technology. Using drones, you get the captures, you get the videos very, very cost efficiently, and you can put the models together. You do a like this bridge, you do this in a 3D in a very simple early pre-design phase, and you put the models together. So this is really powerful when you have your client in front of us and you try to explain for them that what is it that we are trying to develop here and how it will look like. And client is extremely happy for their own decision making. What is it that they're going to build? And we will have the commitment that afterwards we don't have to argue whether this scope is the right, and we don't have to argue about maybe the project budgets and timelines afterwards. So this is the latest development that we have achieved. The steps we took was the isolated BIM having the troubles of combining the models, and I'm sure you have that issue on your table today, many of your companies. The next development has been really this collaboration tools and how we put the information together. So the main designers will achieve a lot of benefits when they get the combined model. And once they get the combined model, they can also agree the accuracy of the BIM modeling. So it is not needed to model everything very precisely, even though it would be nice, but it would be taking too much time, it would be too costly. So there is an optimum how much you model and what you model in details. But the main designers will know that once they see those on their software, and when they combine, they can quite quickly say that what is needed, what is not needed into the model. But that's something that we are still developing. Okay, how much details we really need to model, and what are the disciplines, what are the design objectives that needs to be in the model that we need to coordinate. And because of this alliance contractual model, contractors has high interest because we share the project risk, we share the project benefit, and hopefully we share the success fee of the project. And that's why in Finland, when we have this alliance contract model, BIM has a vital role, because that is the tool when we are talking to our contractors, talking to our client, talking between the engineers with the different disciplines, because we want to optimize the success of the project. And we need information management. If there's information management, obviously other information management like the project management information, all these tools needs to be agreed as well. But for what comes to the BIM and BIM perspective, I highly recommend you to work on and study the collaborations tools, how you put the models together. That is the current experience that we have in my company that is very successful, and we have seen the great benefit. And now we just look to further new technology development to help our client. Thank you.